Okay, greetings Star Wars fans, I'm back with another review. For this review I'm going to go back just a little bit to Legacy Collection. I'm going back to the last 4 comic packs ever made. I've got one of them, the Rouge Squadron one. This is an Entertainment Earth exclusive, that's why you didn't see it in regular stores. Basically, let me tell you who Entertainment Earth is really quick. They're pretty much an all-around nerd story. Anything to do with old school horror, you know, Frankenstein, Dracula, that kind of thing. Science fiction, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars. You know, a lot of modern sci-fi movies. Pretty much they're going to have stuff from. They've got a lot of Star Wars exclusives, and if you're lucky enough to live by them, great. But most of us have to order from them, which is all right. I just made a couple of purchases from them. They still have this comic pack available, by the way, as well as the other 3. Let me also tell you who Rouge Squadron is. Alright, pretty much they're a series of novels mainly written by Michael A. Stackpole, and they happen 2.5 years after the Battle of Endor. They pretty much happen in between the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn and the last movie, Episode 6, pretty much as the Rebels trying to take back Coruscant. So I will show you that comic pack a little bit, but let me show you the figures first. I've got them right here. This is Isard and Fel, and this is Madam Director Isard. They're both Kit Bash figures, but they're both pretty good. I'll start off with Fel. I'll give you a good 360 of him. He is pretty much based off the Wave 6 Captain Nita of the Legacy Collection. A lot of modern Imperials are, as well as parts from the 30th anniversary Death Star Trooper. They've recently redone in Saga Legends. I have that right here. A lot of Imperials are lately, and I do have some issues with that. A lot of them will share the same body parts, and you know, I would like a couple extra molds. You know, just have Imperials of different sizes and so forth out there. I realize Hasbro has to save money, but still, a lot of people who mainly collect the Rebel pilots run into the same thing, or the clones. The clones, you know, from the Clone Wars. They got a lot of different types of clones, but a lot of them are just pretty much the same with different paint jobs. So I'm sure you can sympathize with me. Anyway, he is a good Kit Bash. I did notice a couple things when I got him out of the package. One, he's got these stripes to signify he's part of the 181st TIE Fighter Squadron. You can look back at my TIE Interceptor review from the 30th anniversary, one of my first reviews ever done, and basically the 181st is a very elite squadron with the Empire. They're signified by having red stripes. Even their TIE Fighter uniforms have a red stripe down it. They're black and gray with a red stripe. This is the first one we have in a dress uniform, but he still has the stripes. I think that's a cool feature, actually. And they have done Isard and Fel before. They've done it with a 30th anniversary comic pack. He is in his TIE Fighter outfit, and he doesn't have the beard. I never did review that comic pack, but I do have the figure. I'll read off his articulation and everything to you. Alright, to start off with, as I said, he's a Kit Bash. He's got the torso and the tunic of Captain Nita, but he's got the arms and legs of the 30th anniversary Death Star Trooper. His articulation is he's got a ball-jointed neck, ball-hinged shoulders, ball-hinged elbows, swivel forearms, swivel waist and hips, as well as ball-hinged knees and ankles. So he pretty much has the same basic articulation as, you know, the AT-AT Commander, Captain Nita. They've made a few more Imperials with this. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I know they have a few out there. He comes with a couple hats. He has an olive gray uniform. I found this peculiar that he has a black hat. It's alright though. I was hoping they kind of make a black tunicked Imperial uniformed officer other than Lieutenant Runs or Colonel Dyer. They're basically both based off Moff Jar Jar. I was hoping they'd make a more modern, articulate one, but they haven't yet. Anyway, this hat fits very snugly on him. I noticed that when I took him out of the package. I remember my first experience with removable hats. I got a Lieutenant General Dina Shawn comic pack. The hat fell down into the seat of the car. I had to dig the hat out. Another time it fell down into a vent, and I had to take the vent out and get the hat. So the hat fits very snugly. He does have a beard. The other one, the earlier 30th anniversary one, doesn't. I can recall in the Navy, you could only have a beard if you had a no-shave shit. That's if you had bumps or something when you shaved, or if you had a skin problem when you shaved. That's in the American Navy, although the British Navy, they do allow beards. I remember from the movie, no Imperial officer did have a beard, but since this happens after Endor, I don't know, maybe they're giving some slack or something. He also comes with a helmet, a flight helmet. Now this helmet is a Rebel helmet. I don't want to give too much away, but he does end up joining the Rebel Alliance, and then he switches back and forth. I thought it was a factory defect at first. He only has one Rebel symbol on this helmet. Can you see it? One Rebel symbol with the helmet on him as well. And that is not a factory defect. I looked it up at rebelscum.com, and he's made that way. So, oh, by the way, the rank badge is also removable. I believe I mentioned he has no holster, but he does have an E11 blaster like most Imperials have. There you go. That's Isard and Fel. This is Madam Director Isard. Now, I've got some issues with her as well. First of all, a few months ago, I finished the book Isard's Revenge. They've got a huge selection of Rogue Squadron novels. That's one of the later ones. It actually happens after Thrawn's death, and she comes back. And reading the book, they temporarily team up with her. Wedge Antilles teams up with her, and he's in the gym with her. He's working out, and she's in the gym. She's described as a rather tall, athletic woman, not like bulky muscle type or anything like that. But she definitely works out. And this body is basically based off the Juno Eclipse and Dina Shawn body from the 30th anniversary and the exclusive Force Unleashed video game characters. She's even got the same hands as Juno Eclipse. She's got the tan gloves on her hands. This uniform is of course dyed crimson red, but Isard's described as having a Grand Admiral's uniform, not just a red Imperial uniform. And I have the Thrawn figure, and there are definite differences. Also, I think she should be a little bit taller than Dina Shawn or Juno Eclipse are. I think they're good-looking women, but they're average-sized women. Isard is described as a tall woman, so I have some issues with that. I also have some issues with they've talked about coming out with an Admiral Dela figure, and they said, they've suggested basically we're going to use the same sculpt. I think they should have made a taller Imperial female sculpt and use that not only for Isard but for Dela as well, because Dela is described as being a tall woman. I just don't want all my Imperial female officers to have the exact same body, a different color uniform. So that's my couple of issues I have with this. By the way, she does have an E11 blaster, again, with no holster. I don't think she ever uses a gun in the novels, but she has one anyway. Most Imperials do. So these figures are pretty good overall, and I am going to give you a quick peek at the comic book. The comic book's artwork's rather good. It is made by Dark Harse. Excuse me. Let me get the camera up here. There is the comic book. I'm not going to show you everything in it, but we'll just basically go through to look at the art. Here is Isard. She's described as a very striking, beautiful woman, even though she has some odd features. I don't know if I mentioned this about the figure. A couple other features. One, she has one blue eye and one crimson red eye. And then with white shocked hair, she's naturally that way. Here's the figure. They did a pretty good job on the face. Even though I have issues with the body being the wrong height and everything, the face is pretty close. Looks like she has longer hair in the comic book, though, than the figure itself. But we'll go on. I'm not going to look at the whole thing. Just look through it. Here is Isard and Fel. Got his figure right here. Got the helmet on. Well, I can't take the helmet off with one hand, but yeah, his uniform and everything are pretty accurate anyway. And I'd say the basic build is pretty much the same. But anyway, stock pull is a pretty good read. I would definitely give him a try. I know my fellow reviewer, Gold Leader 1, who's been gone a long time, is a big Rogue Squadron fan himself. But pick that up along with the other 3 comic packs at Entertainment Earth. Of course, they don't have the Han and Luke comic pack. I've announced that earlier, but they've got these 2 as well as another one. I can't recall what the other one is. But give that a look. They're around $17.99, and they aren't that much shipping, but I got mine actually off of eBay for $17.99 with free shipping. The one guy had about 10 of these when I ordered it. They may still have it on eBay. So give that a look if you're interested, all right? This is Supreme signing out, and as always, thank you for tuning in.